Well, in this second part of John chapter 10, you see a little bit of a culmination to the aggression and the anger that the religious leaders have been showing against Jesus over the last few chapters. They're just getting sick and tired of seeing his power and his authority and these bold claims that he is making. And it really comes to a bit of a head in John chapter 10. Like, for the religious leaders, they are waiting for the Messiah. They are waiting for the Christ, and they are waiting particularly for him to come in power and a type of power that looks like pushing back the Roman authorities and Israel taking prominence in the world again. Yet Jesus isn't the Messiah that they've been looking for. And there's a statement in John chapter 10 that really, really just boils their blood. Jesus says this: "I and the Father are one." Now that doesn't mean much to you and I maybe, but to them it hits a nerve. They don't like what he's been doing and what he's been saying so far, but this tips them over the edge. He says, "I and the Father are one." He's claiming that he is God. And immediately they pick up stones and try to stone him. And there's a lovely little bit in John here. Remember, this is a book full of irony. They try and stone Jesus and he just wriggles away and gets away from them. I and the Father are one. Jesus claims that he is God. Just think about what the religious leaders have heard so far. They've heard him say that he is the Christ. They've heard him say that he is one with God. He is part of the Trinity. He is like God. He is God. They've seen him heal those who can't walk. They've seen him heal those who can't see. They've seen him speak with an authority that they've never seen. They've seen people after people come and follow him and believe that he is the Christ. They've seen him move in compassion and move in mercy. They have not seen him break any commandment. Everything he has said, everything he has done, everything that he has proclaimed has been good and righteous and pure. He has not done anything wrong. All he has done is shown that he really is God. He really is the Christ. And he is the only one who can truly say, "I and the Father are one." And yet they pick up stones and try to kill him. Ultimately, we know where this is heading, right? That is what they do. They do kill him. We're not there yet, but this really begs a question. Is Jesus the type of Jesus that we want him to be, or are we waiting for someone else? For the religious leaders, he just doesn't fit their type. He just doesn't look like they want him to look. He just isn't saying the things that they want him to say. And so often we can do the same. We want Jesus to say certain things. We want him to look a certain way. We want him not to say certain things. We want him to do certain things for us. And so often when we look in his word, he doesn't. He doesn't conform to our ideals. Jesus truly is a counter-cultural Christ. And following him means that we live counter-cultural lives. It is not easy to follow Jesus. But as we saw last week, it is a way that leads to life, and life in all its fullness. I want to ask us the question this morning. Are we following the Jesus that we know and love, or are we uncomfortable with the Jesus that is presented to us here? Some of us who are watching this morning need to make a decision. Like, we're waiting for a certain type of Jesus. We're waiting for a certain type of Christ. But Jesus, as is presented to us in his word, is the Jesus that we need to follow. Some of us need to put aside our preferences today. And as we see at the end of John chapter 10, as many did, we need to believe in him. We need to believe that he is the Christ and follow him. And for those of us who already do believe, we need to believe that everything that he does, everything that he said, everything that he calls us into and asks us to walk in is good and is right. Even if it doesn't feel like the way that we want to go. Even if the things that he says don't feel like the things that we want him to say. We need to stop being like the religious and start being more like the disciples that he has called us to be. People that will trust him as the good shepherd. people that will trust him as one who is one with the Father, trusting him as God, trusting him as the Christ, trusting him as the one who is true, and putting our mistrust in our own feelings, in our own desires, in our own thoughts of what is good and is right. I and the Father are one. Jesus is God. He is one with the Father, and he alone is the one who is worthy of our following, worthy of our devotion, and worthy of our lives.